Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. Um, the clips I'm about to show you shows an incident that went down in New York against a couple of NYPD cops who were attacked by a group of illegal migrants that were ranging from the ages, I believe they said from 19 to 21 or something like that, or 22. I'm not too sure. But I know that many of you have probably already heard it. Maybe all of you have heard it in the news. Okay, it happened, I believe, 2 days ago or something like that. I'm showing this because it seems like no matter what the people in New York, okay, no matter what the people in Chicago and people in other states, especially in the blue states, no matter what they say, it just seems to not get through the heads of the elected officials and Joe Biden and, you know, his regime, when people are saying that enough is enough and we need to, you know, shut down the border and we need to get some law and order back, you know, in this country. But before I continue, I want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers both here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and pass it around. Also, two things. One, if you can help support the channel, as always, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal, and a link to my merch store, True Outlaw Patriot. That's the first thing. The second thing, the last 3 videos that I put out, I put one out on Ilhan Omar, one on Biden, and one on Nancy Pelosi. And for some odd reason, between the 3 of them, I got less than 100 views. But it seems like for some odd reason that the algorithm has only pushed out the impressions to those 3 videos less than 500 times, whereas any one of my videos I'll get it pushed out a few thousand times easy. Okay, now I know some people are going to say, well, you know, you don't have a lot of followers and this and that, yada yada yada. I get it, but I don't buy it anymore. Okay, it just seems that whenever I put out certain content, it doesn't get that many views. Now I may be wrong, maybe people are skipping over it, but you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see everybody else putting out content along the same line, and yet, you know, they're getting massive views. But I'm sure that they probably should be getting more because they have a lot more subscribers. But I'm sure even with that, they're not. But with that being said, if you like to go through those 3 videos, okay, check them out, pass them around, put them on blast, okay, so the algorithm could, you know, and leave comments so the algorithm could see that I put out the content, you know, on those 3 individuals. And that's that. So with that being said, let's go to this first clip. Okay, put out by Fox. There hasn't been that many other news outlets. I believe CBS put it out, from what I've seen so far, and it just seems like they're trying to hide a lot that's going on with the migrants and the crimes that they're committing. I should say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say migrants anymore, okay? Because a migrant is somebody that wants to come here for a better life. The ones that are coming here illegally, I'd say, I don't know, a big portion of them are coming here just to cause chaos. And that's all they know. So that's that. But with that being said, let's continue.
New video is sparking even more outrage over the group of migrants accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers. That's what you're looking at on the left hand of your screen. Those guys were freed without bail. And now look at this. Here's one suspect flipping the bird to the cameras. He could care less. Another blows kisses as he smiles and laughs. The other suspect next to him also putting up the middle fingers and cursing at those reporters. Remorseless, brazen, smug.
Okay, now I'll play the rest of it so you can hear what these reporters have to say. But you see, people, this is what pisses people off so much of the influence that's being let into this country. And yet, the mainstream media and the leftists, okay, they can care less. If they don't care that 2 cops were attacked, and just so people know, this is not the first incident that's happened with cops being attacked, okay? This is just one in New York, but it's happened in Chicago already, all right? More and more, we are hearing in the news of what these illegals are doing when it comes to committing crimes. Now, I know some people are coming, you know, they're going to come out and say, well, they're not all the same, so, you know, we can't go and put certain information out because it makes them all look bad. Well, this is the way I see it, okay? If the left can go after people that they think were insurrectionists during January 6th, okay, and people that weren't even there, okay, nowhere near the Capitol, if the regime that's in power could go after them, okay, and accuse them of something they didn't do, then they can go after these people, and so can we go after these people and say, you know what, no, they're illegal, and they committed crimes and they're criminals. Plain and simple. It's not about fear-mongering. It's not about pointing the finger and making it look bad for the rest of them. Because if the ones that weren't committing crimes, okay, would point the finger at the criminals that they know are among their crowds, they would. But the reason why they're not going to do that is to not give themselves away. So here we are in America, where the American citizen is stuck, being attacked, being overlooked, okay, by the left. And what do we get in return? We get NYPD officers attacked, we get regular civilians attacked, and then we get, and I'm trying to watch my tongue, and this is why I say I'm going to put content out on Rumble. So follow my next video there, so I can really tell you how I feel. But then we get these guys going and blowing kisses and giving up the middle finger and walking out, because we have a leftist system in this country, especially in the blue states, that let this happen. If it was 2 Americans attacking a cop, they wouldn't even be given bond. Okay? But here's the scary part about that. So I'm going to take some of that back. That with the way the justice system is working in the blue states, they're letting out criminals, whether they're illegal or American born. Remember that. But let's continue.
And now the question is, will the Biden administration deport these migrants? Trace, this video is so hard to watch. On top of the video that was so hard to watch of them attacking police officers. Yep. Will there ever be accountability?
No, and for your first question, will the Biden administration deport them? Doesn't matter, because if they do, they'll be back in 6 days. How many cases do we have where these people just come back? It's a revolving door. They go and they come back. If you or I or the Atlanta Falcons, as you were talking about earlier, went to Times Square and we kicked a cop in the head and we beat up a cop, we'd be in Rikers for the foreseeable future. That would be that. There's no bail for us. These people get out, get bail. It's ridiculous, and it's part of the problem where we cover the border every single day, and we know there's social media. They have learned that not only are there no consequences to go to the United States, they're incentivized. You get free health care in California. You get hotel rooms. You get all of the things that the people who actually are citizens here cannot get, and in some cases are taken out of, like high schools in New York and airports in Boston and places in Chicago where they meet and they gather have now become these sanctuaries and these places where they house the migrants, and it's not fair to the American citizens, and they are infuriated in blue cities across the country, from Denver to San Diego to Boston to New York, wondering, why is this happening? And now the president thinks, you know, because chaos doesn't poll well, he thinks now's the time to shut the border, and I've been trying to shut it since day one, and those darn Republicans won't sign on. And the truth is, come on, everything that Trump did, you undid, and that was the reason we have this problem.
And the cherry on top to that, Kaylee, is that messaging from those illegal migrants that encompasses all of that. It's the message, as Senator Marco Rubio put so succinctly, It's the message to the cops that they assaulted. It's the message to the other New Yorkers as they walk free with no bail. It's the message to all Americans as they go back to the shelters that we paid for.
Yeah, who are these people? I mean, look at this guy. This is stomach churning. Who are you? Where did you come from? What is your history? Because clearly you didn't come here pursuing the American dream. You came here to flip a bird after beating up a police officer. And according to Marco Rubio, likely going back to a taxpayer facility. Now, as we think about the number on the terror watch list who have crossed our border, MS-13 who have crossed our border, we don't know who these guys are. We don't know their specific background, but we do know it's a fact that people of that nature have crossed our border. And what are we going to do? The brilliant idea of sanctuary state, blue jurisdictions. Let's put them by the schools. That was the plan. Put them next to little girls going to class. Let's stick people. For all we know, this guy was put next to a school. We have no idea. And then you move over to Boston, and I saw a stunning report on local CBS News Boston today. A recreation facility in a low-income community is going to be used to house migrants. And this recreation facility is home to a program, a track program, free of charge for kids in low-income communities. And the coach of that track program said this: we have kids who are also impacted. Our program is one of the few stable times in their lives. But let's yank that program away from the American without resources, and let's put guys like this in the recreation facility, because that's what our founders intended.
Yeah, and I saw the leader.
Okay, now I'm going to stop it right here because I want to show the next clip that's really going to, probably piss off a lot of people. But, she's absolutely right. Okay. And I'll mention it again. I'm going to put a part 2 to this on Rumble later on today to give people a little more insight on certain things. Okay. But, like I said, it's true what she say. There's so many of these illegals committing crimes now, and they're doing it more boldly, and they're doing it in groups. All right. In Chicago, the Chicago residents are complaining the same about the groups of Venezuelans, the groups of Mexicans coming in, and God knows from where else. Now, listen, I'm not trying to point the finger at all Venezuelans, all Mexicans, all people from South America. But the plan that whatever the left had to think that all this was going to be sustainable, in my opinion, I call BS. Okay? They knew the groups of people that were going to be coming in here, and in my opinion, it was to sow chaos. Plain and simple. So they stuck by their guns. You got to stop, vilifying these people, this, and that, yada, yada, yada. Okay? When you have groups of people coming in and committing crime, how can you still stand by that? And now Biden wants to say, well, I've been trying to close the border since day one. How can you close? How can you have been trying to do that when you heard what they said, and it's true. You took away all of Trump's border policies. Okay. He knows he has the power right now. He doesn't need Congress to shut down that border. He doesn't need Congress, the Senate, nothing. He could do it himself. You know why? Because Donald Trump did it. Obama did it to a certain point, even though he failed. But still, the president has the right. He doesn't need Congress to say, I'm shutting the border. He's just going to come out and say, you know what? Things are unsustainable. I heard it from a few people. Crimes are being committed. We got to shut it down. That's it. Just like the governor has the right to do what he has to do for his or her state, the president has the authority to do the right thing for the country. But since Biden wants all that money for Ukraine and for other wars, he's trying to make it seem like the Republicans are stopping him, and what the Republicans are doing is saying, no, we want to shut the border. That's a separate issue. You want to put inside that package for us to give you tens of billions of dollars to give to Ukraine and other entities. And that's why the Republicans are like, no, we're not going to do that. But Biden is lying, him and his regime, making it seem otherwise. And that's not the case. But if you think, and no pun intended, if you think that was a kick in the head, and like I said, no pun intended to the cops that were getting beat up, if you think this is a kick in the head, wait till you see this. Here we go.
Today for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office after several suspects accused of attacking police officer in Times Square were released without bail. CBS 2's Christina Fenn reports Governor Hochul is also criticizing the decision.
As police continue searching for several suspects, they say attacked NYPD officers as they were trying to disperse a crowd near a migrant shelter in Times Square Saturday. Governor Kathy Hochul sounded off, upset to learn those charged so far were released without bail.
It's wrong on all accounts. I'm looking to judges and prosecutors to do the right thing.
In this video released by the NYPD, 2 cops are seen struggling with a man in yellow when a barrage of people take turns kicking and punching the lieutenant and officer in the head and body. 5 of the suspects have already been arraigned and face charges of second-degree assault and obstructing governmental administration. As to why the DA did not request bail for those men, a spokesperson said, "Violence against police officers is never acceptable. It is paramount that we conclusively identify each defendant and specify each participant's role in the incident."
They're trying to figure out exactly who did what. And so they're being smart about making sure that they look at all the evidence.
Wednesday night, police arrested 2 more suspects, bringing the total number to 7. 5 are still outstanding. The NYPD says many of the defendants were migrants staying at city shelters, ranging in age from 19 to 24 years old. Governor Hochul was asked if she felt those responsible for the attack should be deported.
I think that's absolutely something that should be looked at. If someone commits a crime against a police officer in the state of New York, and they're not, they're not here legally, definitely worth checking into.
According to police sources, one of the defendants in this case has 2 prior arrests for shoplifting incidents where he allegedly fought with security personnel. Reporting from Times Square, Christina.
Okay, so you heard that. Okay, now the shocking part that I'm saying is Kathy Hochul. You know, that woman fought tooth and nail against everybody on the right, against New Yorkers, against everybody in favor of the illegals coming in. Okay? And now, just like her, or I should say just like the president, who has the authority to shut the border, she has the authority to stand up and to stand with the mayor and to stand with the constituents of, of their party and of the citizens of New York and New York State, and say, you know what? We don't want this. We didn't want this from the beginning. But she didn't. She belittled everybody. She criticized everybody. She went against everybody's wishes. So for her to come out now and start trying to point the finger to the district attorney who's in cahoots with her, because you know what? I believe it was like the district attorney or something like that to try to go after Trump. She has the gall to come out and say that now some of these people need to be held responsible and be deported. I find it disgusting the way the Democrats right now, with everything that's going on, with them knowing that they're tanking in the polls, how they're trying to flip this narrative. They're trying to flip the script to make it seem like now they care. They didn't care 3 years ago when they followed suit with Biden's regime to start unleashing all this chaos into the country, into the cities. Now they're going to try to make it seem, now she's going to try to make it seem like they care. And what's going to happen now? So you take them and you slingshot their asses across the border. Big deal. You're still stuck with what? 160,000, 170,000 just in New York alone? This is not just happening in New York. Maybe this incident with the cops, yes. But crimes are being committed all around the country by a lot of illegals that are coming in. Okay? From burglary to attempted murder, police assault, rape. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The residents of Chicago have been complaining that there's migrants out, illegal migrants out there, or illegal immigrants. I'm sorry, like I said, I'm going to flip the script because I'm not going to follow suit the way these Democrats and these leftists want everybody to think that these are all just, some poor migrants that are looking for a better life. No, a lot of them are not looking for a better life. A lot of them are looking to flee. A lot of them are looking to set up shop. and make America, or a large part of America, or many parts of America, the way it is in parts of their countries, with the gangs and the violence and the crime and all that. You know, the Democrats, I said it once and I'll say it again, the Democrats don't care about the illegals. They don't care about Americans. They don't care about the countries that these people are coming from no more than they care about America. Because if they did, they would have been against an open border policy. If they did, they'd gather together en masse, okay, with the American patriots of this country and go to Joe Biden and say, shut the border. They will put the priorities of Americans first and say, you know what, no more funding for anyone outside the country until you shut the borders and take care of Americans. And if it takes 5 years to get it straight, then it takes 5 years. Besides, they are so backlogged that they're giving court dates to some of these illegals anywhere between 4 and 7 years from now. So why let in any more? It's only to sow chaos. So when Kathy Hochul comes out and makes an announcement like that, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say, Kathy Hochul, you know what? You can go kick rocks. Okay? You had your chance, and because of your wicked agenda, just like, you know, the leftist regime that's in this country, you failed and people are getting hurt. So this whole thing about, oh, you're going to go at, you know, you're appalled or whatever the case is at the district attorney for doing this, you was in on it. You was in on it from day one. From day one. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Go to my Rumble channel. I'm going to put a part 2 to this later on. I'll announce it. And I'll really give you my thoughts on that. On all this and on a lot more. If you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal and my merch channel. On my merch store, I should say. And remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. And keep praying for this country. Peace.